I feel right now like it would be so important to just take a moment. One of the reasons why parenting is so feels so complicated is because we have so much information that's gone on, and we need to make sure that we are actually allowing ourselves to feel these things, to go there, to be brave, to go into our dark places. And honestly, if I can be really candid right now, when my son faced anxiety, depression, opposition, suicidal thoughts, it was because I hadn't faced the darkness inside of me. It was because I had the 8-year-old girl inside. But I wonder, in your cup, what are you holding? I'm reading your comments. I'm reading the weariness that I'm hearing in your words, and just the things that you've already been carrying into COVID. The stresses were already there, and now the pandemic is here. But what's really beautiful is the opportunity that we keep hearing about to come back to square one, to come back to what's important. And honestly, guys, think about this with me for a minute. If all we get out of this, out of tragedy, out of crisis, if all we get is we learn how to love and we learn how to heal and our kids are brought closer, then we win. We win. If that's all I get out of this, if my business falls, if I lose it a million times, I win. If I learn how to love more, and if I learn more about myself, and if I learn how to just keep things so simple as just bringing my kids close to me, walking my kids home, being the rock that they need. If that's all we get, guys, we are rich. We have won. We've won the war. If our kids can come out of this healed and whole and a sense of rootedness from being at home. And let me tell you, in resilience studies, we only have to get this parenting thing right 30% of the time based on stats. 30%. That's better than I did in grade 12 math. Maybe I did a little bit better in math, but you know what I mean? This is it right here. Like, resilience is in the repair. Could I offer you this? This is a part of my book as well. Resilience is not from getting this parenting thing perfect. Resilience is in learning how to repair. When we have a big rupture, when we lose it emotionally, because here's the thing, guys, we all know we're supposed to be emotionally regulated. We know the science. You've heard it today. Real, true bravery is in not just liking the Instagram posts and tuning into the conference. Real bravery leans in and says, I know I'm supposed to be emotionally regulated. I know I'm supposed to be my child's rock. I know I'm supposed to have self-compassion, and I'm supposed to listen to my story. And I know I'm supposed to do all these things, but I fall short. Real bravery is in how we repair the relationship when ruptures happen, annoyances happen. I share this in my parent seminar. Mother's Day for me has been an absolute disaster on many occasions. And it usually ends with mom in the bedroom crying. Why can't today just be about me? And my children, my husband pushing my children into my room, because they had done 1,000,001 wrong things that day, like breaking windows or forgetting or making me making me feel worse about myself than I ever did. And I remember the shame that I saw on their faces when they were having to grovel, per se, at my feet. And last year, Mother's Day is coming up, and I could see they literally had post-traumatic stress disorder. It felt like they had anxiety over Mother's Day because they didn't want to screw it up. And I realized that I had created a lot of shame in them by not learning how to repair. And so shame comes when we don't know how to repair when things go wrong. And so I often encourage parents and myself, it's us who initiates repair, even if we're right. And many of us know we're right, aren't we? Most of the time. Going to our kids, it doesn't mean saying sorry. Repairing means sitting down when everyone's calm and saying, hey, that was rough. Hey, I'd like to talk about this because you are more important to me than being right now. Your relationship with me means more than anything. And I want to work this out with you. Learning how to be really honest about how we feel during different ruptures. I love how Dr. Paul asked, what do you need? That was something that we talked about in our Thursday parent support group. Learning how to express, what do we need? But if all you did today, after you got off the conference and you have all this information in your head, you have all this information is going to do nothing for us. It's applied information that makes the transformation possible. And what's that? It's learning that connection is honestly your greatest goal, and how you connect as a parent is different than how I connect. Connection is your number one goal today. And if that's all you did, and when things go wrong, if you repaired that relationship well by sitting with your kids and talking through it and asking, how did you feel? This is how I felt. And really leaning in and listening and being brave through it, then you've won. And when you have a moment, I wake up before my kids wake up for the very reason that I, every morning, spend time with God and sit there and allow myself to heal, go into my story, go into the places that I don't want you to see, I don't want myself to see. But see, there's this beautiful thing of being brought close. I can't do that for my kids unless I've learned to be brought close. When I know that I'm held, who's my anchor? Who's holding me up? To have that time so that when I face my day, it doesn't mean having my own time in the morning, having my own regulation, having my own mindfulness practices does not mean that things aren't going to hit the fan that day. It just means that I'm grounded in something. And the water, what a great thing to do. Maybe every morning grabbing a glass of water. And how old do I feel today? Who said I was able to adult? Holding up your water and maybe even taking a minute and pouring out the things that have been very weary on your heart, and allowing yourself to be filled up with things like joy and peace, because peace in my home is the goal for me. Peace in my heart translates to peace in my home. And there's been so many tools given today to how to do it. But come back to the simple, because as my friend Vince says, simple gets done. Keep it simple right now. Don't complicate your life with a crazy schedule. Allow yourself to have time to reflect and to heal, and to even talk to your kids and say, you know what, this is something I'm discovering about myself. I talk to my kids all the time about things that are going on inside of me, not too much that it scares them, but to just let them know, hey, when mommy yells, actually how I really feel is I'm feeling like I'm not being heard. And as a kid, when I didn't feel like I was being heard, it really hurt my feelings. I think we need to return to the idea of what it looks like to be human. We've forgotten what it looks like to be human. And we think that tools and strategies are going to heal us and heal our kids. And we make mental health a thing that we think needs to be fixed. And we send our kids to the counselor and we fill them with medication. And we think, dear God, just somebody heal my kid, fix them up so that I can go on with my life. And I think COVID is reminding us that there's no way to cheat this. There's no easy fix. It really is having to come back. It's forcing us back to the simplicity of what it looks like to love and be loved, to bring people close in their mess, and to sit with them and to lean into the discomfort. I can't tell you how hard it was to sit there with my son hurling insults and profanities at me while my own dysregulation rose to the surface. But the only way to regulate, the only way, like Dr. Jody and many people have said here, the only way to regulate is to lean into the hard. And so when you fail, when you face the rest of your day, you get off this conference and you're so just jacked up with hope and tools and skills, and then real life happens, remember what's really, really important. And that is, I show up when it's hard. I forgive when it hurts. I love without walls. I am brave. I rise through the storm. That's it. That's it right there. So would you for a moment with me while we close? And then I want to stay on and just be able to answer any questions that you have. But you want to grab a glass of water with me? I got one empty glass and one full glass. And why don't we take a minute and pour out and start our day off with a brand new cup? Today I'm pouring out my need for control. I'm pouring out expectations on my children's behavior today. That's what I'm pouring out. What are you pouring out? I really, really value your time here. And I want to let you know just a couple of things that we're doing to continue this, because this has been amazing. Every Tuesday, we do a free parent webinar from noon to 1 Mountain Standard Time. And anyone is welcome. And I bring in guests like the guests we've had today to talk about how to get through, because you can't do this alone right now. And so if you want a part of that, I'll be sending out the conference, the recording. I'll be sending it to everyone who's registered. I will also be sending you any notes that I receive. And so I'll send you the link to that. Don't do this alone. And then starting this Thursday night, we're going to be starting parent support groups. Groups that basically bring parents together. We go through some of the 7 keys of connection, and we walk through it together. It's a place where you can share. It's a safe place. It's a place where you can get tools and strategies. But most of all, it's a place where we can come together and bring one another close so we can bring our kiddos close. So I'll be sending that out. But in the meantime, everyone, I want to just mention that I'll stay on here for the next little bit. Take any questions that you have. I can't keep up with the chat. I'm very thankful that you've had a great day, that everyone's feeling really good. And just if anyone wants to grab the book, I chatting with Dr. Jody Carrington on the phone yesterday, and first of all, she said, "Why didn't you charge for this?" I'm like, because people really need this. And then she said, "You make sure you promote that book. Do you think that book could change people's lives?" I'm like, absolutely it can. It changed our life. This is the raw and the real story, as well as all the things that brought us out of the anxiety, the depression, the suicide. You would never guess that that was our story. And it's all based on the hard knock things that I learned, and learning from people that you've heard today. Everything that they have said, every strategy they have said is in here. And so, yes, I believe this book can change the world. And so if you would like to order it, on the Eventbrite link that you registered on, you can add it as an add-on, or you can also order it on my website, ConnieJakab.com. Could I just close this conference? Love you too, Benny. With the mantra that I really felt actually was given to me in my heart before this. Actually, it's interesting. It actually came to me before COVID. And so I want to declare it over your life today. I want to declare it over your family, that you are brave. Keep showing up when it's hard. Love without walls. Forgive when it hurts, and then forgive again. Rise through the storm. Thanks so much, everyone, for coming.